Welcome to another edition of the quarantine sessions of the Mike Cook Guys podcast. Of course, I'm your host, the evolution of the MC, the leader of the Mike World Order, yada yada yada, all those other cool intros and nicknames that I like to use. But I guess you can say on this one, I'll say something corny for all you ladies out there. Roses are red, violets are blue. The following announcement has been paid for by the Mike World Order. So, it's been a while since I did like a regular podcast episode. I've done like the Facebook Lives and the Instagram Lives and just trying to stay busy because now I have a little bit more free time than usual. So you figure take advantage of it to get your instant bucket list out the way. Why not? So I figured today's episode, or in y'all case, when it drops, it'll be nighttime. So I did a post on Twitter a few days ago where I mentioned about there's always that one person that you'll never forget, and because of circumstances, it can never come to fruition. So today I'm going to talk about that, and also moments where I probably thought were missed opportunities. Now, don't get me wrong. I am very happy in the current position that I'm in. You know, I was able to follow my dreams. And, you know, and speaking of dreams, for anyone out there listening, I'm still selling my Mike World Order t-shirts. A lot of people have been supporting the cause for it. Thank you so much. Because of this, I've been hidden blessing people with sending a free t-shirt every week. If you want to know how to get one in June, message me your size and your address, and I pretty much will pick someone out at random. So that's going to be pretty interesting to say, right? Because a lot of people, if you got Mike World Order t-shirts, throw them up, show them, like, you know, you will be compensated for your help. Thank you, audience. Thank you. So, let's get down to the nitty gritty. How things have been the past few weeks. You know, it's crazy when you think of something like a pandemic such as this, that it only affects people that are sick, but from what things have been and events have occurred, it's affecting people who aren't even sick, you know, people's jobs, people's lifestyles. Like, I hate to say it, I chose the wrong time to be single. But the funny part is, a lot of people that are in relationships or married, it's half and half. Like, half of them have told me, I love the time that I'm spending now because I'm always working. But then you got the other half that's like, I can't stand your ass. And that's coming from both men and women. For those who are like that, I am highly envious of you. So you should do us all a favor and stop crying, because this is what you stepped up for. This is what you wanted. And it's moments like that where you wonder why guys like me, who would give their right arm to be in a happy relationship. I said relationship, not marriage. I am still your never marriage open weight champion. So, anywho, a lot of people ask, what was your biggest regrets in terms of dating or opportunity? So, there's been many women that I wanted to get with, and of course they always gave me the runaround. They always led me on. They always did me wrong. They always cheated. Nowadays, I think the most mentioned phrase I get told is, you don't love me, you love the thought of me. Well, damn. Who are you to say how my feelings are? Like that's been like the main thing I've heard like the past few years. Uh, Up until now, not really. It doesn't bother me because those who know me know my current situation, and we'll keep it at that. But there was this one chick that I knew. Now I hate to say it. I know there's a lot of women that know me and have history with me. Do not feel bad. A lot of y'all have a piece of history with me too. This one just stands out the most for for the simple fact that this woman I've known the longest. Like when I mean the longest, I mean since the sixth grade. And I guess now I'll refer to her as code name. I did have an original name, but I was like, nah, I want to do something that's more obvious. To where you still can't figure it out, but you'll still wonder, who is this person? So I'd have to go with Nurse at First Sight. And the reason I say Nurse at First Sight, because even though that is her current position, you can tell some people's personalities that they have a long-term knack for that, because there's something always about her that is very stimulating, very healing. I didn't know anything about her past, but she always had like that mellow, I've never seen her angry or outraged. I've never seen her as a complete jerk or anything. Like I can honestly say I probably had maybe one bad moment where she was blunt, but that was in conversation. But I think it was also her way of venting out how others are. And I was just the one who took the hit. And that's cool, because I'm one of those types, for every transaction comes a receipt. But I get the reasons. And it was just one of those things where the more I got to know her growing up, heavily attracted to her. And I know I'm saying a lot, but you know how my podcast goes. I wing it. It's uncut, uncensored, unscripted, damn it. But even then, there was just something about her you always kept wondering, what if? Like, what if? And, the next year I went to private school because I was a badass kid. Came back in 8th grade, saw her, I was like, you look real good. And I think we had class together and sat next to her, and I was like, sweet. And I remember a guy that I used to be friends with who was also my neighbor. He had a crush on her too. But I never mentioned how I felt about her, because I guess I was at that time like so self-conscious, like what would she want with a big guy like me, And then in high school, still thought about it. But once again, I was just so self-conscious because I didn't think of myself as handsome. I didn't think of myself as good looking. Like, senior year, I was dating a chick who was 2 grades under me. And, yeah, I just didn't see it. I didn't see it in me. I didn't have that confidence. And she ended up dating someone else, and eventually they got married, had a kid together. I didn't really hear much from her until like maybe a year before I moved up here. We started contacting and talking, and then there was at one point when I was up in here in Virginia, we were chatting, and it was when we started clicking in terms of conversation. I think she had to get an operation done. I forgot what I know it was an operation, because it was not too long after I had mine done, which was the cancer removal one. And we started talking and chatting, and It was one of those things you sit to yourself and you think, damn, life's not fair. And it really hit me when I was watching episode after episode of Divorce Court the other day. And that's what made me like did the post on Twitter. Chicks like her make you realize life is not fair because there's always going to be, and I don't care what male or female you are, you can be happily married with no regrets, and that's cool. But I don't care who you are. You will always have that one person that you wish you could have dated, who you wanted to date, and it never happened just for the circumstances. It could be location, it could be certain situations, or in my case, getting friend zone. You know? And it's at the point where I've gotten friend zoned so easily, and on top of carrying the hero's complex, you're just used to it. And I always said to myself, once I hit a certain age, I'm just going to give up. Well, I've already hit that age, you know, and can I really say I gave up? I don't know. But with this person, you kind of wish things were, and it sucks because even if this person was literally across from me in my apartment complex, I still don't think she would have. I think she would be the type that would pretty much tell me, you like the thought of being with me, but we would never happen. Yeah. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, whether you're a man or a woman, and you have to just let it roll. And I'm one of those types where I'm like, I don't like accepting things. It's true. I just don't like accepting things for how they are. And because of that, it's made me one of those type of guys where I shut out from people. Like, because I've always been the type like this. Okay, people always buy gifts for someone they like, and then it doesn't work out. The first thing people are mad about is the money that they put into it. Money comes and goes. Cash flow does not leave. My thing is the time wasted. If I feel like I wasted time, that's going to make me more upset than money. You know? And I think a lot of people can agree with the bigger picture rather than, I spent all my money on you and blah, blah, blah. In that case, you are nothing more than an ignorant Indian giver, as they like to say. To me, it's not money. It's just the energy and effort and time. That means a lot more. Because someone more wordy could have had that. But then again, how would you know if that person's more worthy or not? You know, I hate to say it, it's 2020. We're living in the here today, gone tomorrow type theory. Like, you could be in a happy relationship today, and then tomorrow or a week from now, it's done for. Same thing with marriages. Since living up here, I can't tell you how many marriages I've seen not go past 3 years. It's mind-blowing. And I don't even think it's the location. I just see that in general in this generation. But yeah, she was one person I regret not even putting the effort in trying to make a move. Because you never know how things would be. But then when you look at the big picture, you still realize life's not fair. Because maybe a small piece still wants it. you know. But it is what it is. One person asked me, what's a big opportunity you had that you didn't take full court advantage of? I'd probably say moving up to Woodbridge when I had the opportunity in 2013, because my sister was like, yeah, come up here. I was like, nah, I'm happy. I'm content with Beaufort, you know. Because at the time I was dating someone and I didn't want to leave him. And it was probably the longest relationship I've ever been in and still is. And to this day, if you look at the record books with my win-loss record, that's actually impressive. So I was like, nah, I don't want to go. I think I want to stay here. You know, a lot of people didn't know that. That originally I was given the idea of coming up here in 2013 when my sister was talking to me about it at her wedding. Never would have thought that 3 years later I'd be moving up here. And then on top of that, never would have thought 4 years later I'm still up here. Next March makes it 5 years that I've been living in Virginia. And I'm very happy. Still. Virginia is where I can be me. I can't be me when I go back home because I hate to say it, the moment I get home, love being around my family, love seeing my friends and all that. Usually by the third or fourth day, I'm ready to go back home to Virginia. And I wish I can get a big house and put all my family and friends in it, because it'll never be a dull moment. But I can't do that. Maybe if I hit the lottery, who knows? But that's just the way the ball rolls, G. Another person asked me what was the biggest opportunity in terms of a job that I turned down. I think it was a job working for, Beaufort County's government. And I turned that down to work at the school job. Now, money-wise, longevity, I regret not taking that position. But then when I saw that the position was later on, they dissolved it because there was just no purpose of it because they were under new contracting. I was like, wow, imagine how things would have been if I would have taken that job. It wouldn't have worked out in my favor. So maybe it was a good thing it didn't roll like that. Plus, if there were things like hurricanes and tornadoes, I had to be on deck, and me and weather are not the best of friends. And it's funny, this episode feels like a reminiscence of the past and going back home. And I don't know, I just wanted to open up Pandora's box and, reflect and give my opinions on it, because some things I've never opened up about, and you guys know me. I don't hold back on this podcast, but there's some things I do hold back on that I never open up out of fear of having flashbacks and feeling regret, and, but I don't, which is interesting. Also, I always mention anyone who has a local business, send me your info. I can plug you in on the podcast. For those in the Northern Virginia area, if you love pudding, I got a friend in Manassas who delivers banana pudding, Oreo cheesecake, strawberry shortcake, she made this new one, which is like a mixed berry shortcake. Uh, there was one night she dropped me off an extra, and I was chilling with little Daryl, and I told him, "Hey, try this, man." And I gave him a spoon. He tried one scoop, right? Mind you, it's in a pretty hefty sized mason jar. He had one scoop. He literally crushed that thing within like 2 minutes because it was that good to him. He talking about some, man, I was hungry, big dog. Huh? I was like, you weren't hungry. That shit was that good. Another homeboy of mine, Mr. Brian Espinoza. I was the one who got him hip to it. It was so good to him, he ended up buying one of each. So for those who are interested, if you guys are on Instagram, find her at the screen name at call_her_Miss Boss, and tell her that Big Mike from the Mike Cook Guys podcast sent you. Pretty much the prices for the pudding cups are like $10, and she doesn't charge you for delivery. Delivery is free, so that makes it pretty awesome. Pretty soon she'll have a website that she'll have uploaded, but until then, the best way to contact her is, like I said, find her on Instagram, add her on her screen name. Her name is Heather. Good peoples. It's that delicious, And it's usually her, and I don't know if she has her own group of people or if she makes it herself. All I know is that woman is delivering good comfort food and desserts. And trust me, with a situation going on such as this, that comfort food be on point. Okay? I broke full-blown no sugar keto just to try it. And I do not regret it, but I can't do it again. But you know what? I should ask her if she does customs like blueberries, because I'm not much of a strawberry guy. I like blueberries. I gotta have my blueberry fix, or blackberries. I'm not big on strawberries. That's just me, because it's just, I don't know. I'm so picky. Like, that's one thing about this keto diet. It's so easy for me because I'm so picky, but it's like certain foods you eat, you already hit the glass ceiling, because one, you can only eat but certain foods. You have to measure the amount just so you have the right amount of carb intake. And on top of that, it's the time frame of what you're eating, because you're supposed to eat foods that benefit you, not go against you, because not all carbs are what you think in terms of the rice and the noodles and potatoes. I mean, we're talking like there's carbs like too much carrots because it got sugar in it, or too much green beans. Like, if you don't get fresh cut green beans, then you're really going against what it stands for. But yeah, I broke keto for that woman, but it was worth it. It was so worth it. So, well, in other news, I finally did it. I kept searching for the right vendor who would make me a NWA World Television title. So for those who see me on social media, I've been constantly taking photos with this belt. I remember when I first saw this belt as a kid, when Arn Anderson had it, and it was on a red strap. And I didn't like the red strap. It was like the first belt that I seen as a kid that was on a red strap. Like, I saw the white strap with Shawn Michaels, and I saw the yellow strap with the Ultimate Warrior, and Goldust had like the gold one, but I never saw red, and I thought it was like, ew, But then later on, when I saw it was on a black strap, when I was watching an old Halloween Havoc pay-per-view, and I saw the Great Muta with a black strap world TV title, I was like, now that I like. And then it really sparked it again because the NWA brought back, the world television title, even though it's a more disputed version, because the history goes all the way to World Championship Wrestling. But it's revived. And when I saw it, I was like, I want it. So I found the right vendor, and the price was right. So I ended up buying it. I was like, why not? I wanted it. But if you guys are interested, by the vendor, championshipbelts.com. The guy who makes it, Mr. Hassan, good guy. Good guy. Not to sound like that person, because I hate to say it, with the part-time job that I work in, you deal with a lot of entitled people of a certain race, because I'm not racist. If anything, I'm probably the most exotic guy you ever meet in terms of cultures. And because of that, that blows people's minds, because of, like, hold up, you do this, you know this, what do you know about that? Like, even recently when I dyed my goatee blonde, and the first thing that someone told me was, dude, you're black. Well, no shit, man. I know what I am, but I also know what I like, and I also know what I want. And one of the things that I've been doing during this free time is doing things that I want, going places that I want to see, even though it's in my car. But, I'm doing things that I haven't been able to do before. And why not? Like, I'm just taking advantage of opportunities I didn't get to do before. And I'm pretty sure anyone who's been in my shoes knows how much I am a workaholic and I don't get to do these things. Well, I'm going to do them now. I'm taking advantage of what free time that I have, because once everything goes back to normal, I'm pretty much going to be pushing all cylinders. Tried making time for people that I'm friends with, family. I've even made time, working on my car because I wanted to last in the long run, just doing things like that. And why not? Learning more about me that I didn't before. And mind you, this is Mike at 32. It's one of those things where it's like there's always room for self-improvement. Why not? So for anyone out there listening, if you're in the same boat that I'm in, use this time to, learn a new trade, learn a new language, learn a new hobby, stuff that you used to do when you were younger, or, stuff that you didn't have time doing, that you got time to do now. Do it. Because now it's one of those moments where I appreciate things that I didn't get to do before. On the flip side, I've also learned during this pandemic who my true friends are and who my true, colleagues are that care, which I think is kind of heartbreaking. You don't really hear from people. You reach out to them, but they don't reply. It's like, that's kind of heartbreaking, because one thing about this, it will make and break your relationships and friendships that you got with people. So once things get to normal, it's a whole completely different person you're going to be enduring. So giving you a heads up on that one. There will be another episode of the Quarantine Sessions this week, because I'm going to try and, like I said, make time to do more episodes. And like I said, if June, I'll be doing the weekly giveaway of a Mike World Order t-shirt. So stay tuned. And that being said, the Mike Cook Guys podcast, the quarantine sessions, still going on. Season 7 to be decided, but everyone knows episode 1 will be the rap group SNRG on there. So that'll be a cool thing. We still keep in contact. I'm always popping on their live feed. They're always popping on my live feed. You know, if you haven't got a chance, check out their recent single that just came out. You know, check out their recent album, you know, The Hopeless, with the hit single Hopeless. It's some good stuff. It's some really good stuff. Because chatting with the guys, you know, LA Stone and I Speak, their stuff is good, you know. The Lost Love Songs, as they call it, the recent album. And if you ever get a chance, they got merch, they got music, check them out. snrgmusic.bandcamp.com. You know, my favorite track from the album, to be honest, because even though Hopeless was the first song I heard them play live, but my favorite track is Sweetheart with Catalano, who has like the most sensual voice ever. Like, no lie, if I ever wanted to do a movie, I would want 2 people to be the narrators. I would want James Earl Jones to be a narrator, and if he ever looks at me and say no, Cal Lana would be first realistic draft pick, because she's got the voice for it. Voiceovers, all that. You know. A guy can dream, right? So, this episode, hope you guys enjoy it. I know it seems kind of basic, simple, out there, monotone. It's like, what's with the pausing and all that? Just giving y'all a heads up, when it comes to these type of moments, you have to give me a quick second to let me recollect, because as I'm explaining everything, I'm having, you know, the actual visuals as I'm explaining. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to answer some questions on the first part. But, I mean, it is what it is, you know. Because that was probably my biggest regret when it shows Life's Not Fair. Because, you know, you can tell someone, like I said, if you're male or female, you can tell someone as much as you love them or you want to be with them and you crave them and all those things, but it doesn't mean anything if they don't feel the same way. That's life, man. But just because we hit bottom don't mean we can't get back up. Besides, to quote the great LA Stone, we're not hopeless romantics. We're just hopeless. That being said, goodbye and good night. Bang!